Within the past 30 years, the South Korean government has managed to turn what once was a devastated post-war Korea into one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. The 1997 Asian financial crisis marked a stain on Korea's economy, making the value of the South Korean won go down by almost 50%. As a result, South Korea's capital plummeted. In an effort to get out of debt, the South Korean government accepted a $12 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund, as well as money from the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. This put a huge financial strain on the Korean economy, resulting in a debt of $55 billion. The South Korean government was able to pay off the loan through government reform of the country's financial sector, economic liberalization, and a call to action for the South Korean people to help the government repay the debt.
I didn't hesitate to donate gold rings I got for my children's first birthdays and gold bands I got for my wedding. I was ready to give those up if it was going to help my country overcome the crisis.
Despite the debt being paid off, the economy in South Korea was still in shambles. In an effort to restore the economy, the South Korean government, Kim Dae-jung, enforced the focus on investing in the entertainment and K-pop industry, with the goal of creating the Hallyu, Korean, wave. This is why it is extremely difficult for foreigners to enter the K-pop industry, since it was designed to help preserve, promote, and build the Korean economy.
Is there a market for non-Koreans to become K-pop stars?
For non-Asians at the moment, there is no real market in the K-pop industry. You have a lot of Korean Americans, you have Chinese Americans who are going into the K-pop world.
While it appears that East Asians have a leg up in the industry, there have actually been a few non-Asians that have made it on stage in Korea.
Alexandra Reed, she was part of the girl group called Renia for a while. And sometimes they just added her in as if she's an extra featured rapper. It didn't really seem to be like they knew what to do with her.
Reed has since come out about the struggles of being an African-American K-pop star and eventually left the group.
I don't know of any companies, at least not any of the big companies, that have non-Asian trainees.
K-pop is currently a $5 billion global industry, but at what cost? Overworked. K-pop stars are expected to work for long hours a day and at most get 4 to 5 hours of sleep. This is because K-pop idols are expected to learn choreography, record music, and create music videos that are tailored to rely heavily on visual presentation. This means that more focus is put into the fashion style, appearance, and dance, so that non-Korean speakers can still appreciate the video, despite not knowing the lyrics. Break-even or underpaid. Not only are K-pop idols overworked, but most are underpaid as well. K-pop companies allegedly take away 90% of their earnings. This is because K-pop companies invest a lot of money into training aspiring K-pop idols, and in return, once the K-pop trainees become idols, they are expected to pay back the money that the company invested in them. This then helps the company reinvest the money into continuous promotion for the group. The average cost to debut a K-pop group costs over $100,000, sometimes up to $1 million.
Unless you're doing super well, every one of us threw everything away. We're spending literally all of our lives, morning to night, till we go to sleep. It's not 9 to 5 work. It's what we do 12, 14, 15 hours a day, trying to improve ourselves, to be on stage, to get that spotlight without getting paid at all.
Appearances. K-pop companies have strict guidelines and require K-pop idols to stand out among the competition, oftentimes requiring them to get plastic surgery to achieve the perfect look. On the surface, this seems shallow, but given the nature of Korean culture, the push for plastic surgery is oftentimes done in an effort to avoid criticism by the Korean tabloids.
When I first went into my company, it was only about a couple months after I was training that they took me to the plastic surgery clinic. You go to multiple different plastic surgery clinics. That's because you want different tips, you want different doctors to look at your face, because everyone has different eyes and perceptions. It's a pretty big decision, so you want to find a doctor that fits you the best. So I remember going to multiple different clinics with my co-president back then. I remember we went to this one really big plastic surgery clinic, and basically what happens is me and the co-president, we were discussing previously what he thought that I should get done. I was like, hey, it's gonna make me beautiful, why not? Most of the girls, most of the guys, you don't really refuse down plastic surgery, because it's if you have a chance to be beautiful, who wouldn't take it? All the staff members, the CEO, everyone agreed that I would look better if I got my nose done. You know, these are the kind of things that influence influence you and it makes you feel like you need them because people feed these comments to you and without you noticing it gets to you. It just made me feel like I needed it, or it made me feel like if I get a nose surgery done I was going to look really pretty and I was going to be like the center of the stage.
가장 이상적인 얼굴은 일단 하얗고 갸름한 작은 얼굴에
눈 크고 이목구비 뚜렷하고 얼굴 작아야죠.
사실 내 입으로 이런 말 하면 좀 그렇긴 한데 내 얼굴을 이렇게 보고 다 예쁘다고 약간 계란같이 생긴 이렇게 여기 좀 약간 이렇게 날렵하고 이런 얼굴 솔직히 얼굴형은 자신 있다 내가.
연예인으로 예를 들자면 한효주나 뭐 김태희,
박보영. 저는 좀 세 보이는 사람을 좋아해서 크리스탈이나 화장 빡세게 하면 예쁜 이효.
Slave contracts. K-pop idols that are signed by medium to smaller sized companies are oftentimes victims of slave contracts. This means that K-pop idols are expected to work long hours, in horrible living conditions, and in some cases receiving no pay, for sometimes as long as 15 years depending on their type of contract. Slave contracts tend to negatively affect K-pop idols, and several of them can be seen fainting during performances and concerts due to lack of sleep and food. Suicide. The recent death of Sulli and Hara exposed a dark side to K-pop that most people were not aware about, which is cyberbullying. Behind the glamour, the K-pop industry can be psychologically damaging. From going under rigorous training to the push for physical perfection, K-pop idols are put under a lot of pressure from both their company and the public. K-pop idols on average receive dozens of attacks and scrutiny on social media about their appearance, causing K-pop idols significant pressure to go under the knife. The disturbing reality is that even after a K-pop idol gets plastic surgery, they are subject to facing backlash as a result of the plastic surgery. Ms. Gu, a former member of the wildly popular K-pop girl group, Kara, knows this story all too well, and was the victim of several online attacks, from trolls who would allegedly tell her that she owed her looks to plastic surgery. Ms. Gu allegedly admitted to having plastic surgery, in an effort to keep up with the beauty standards of Korea, and reduce criticism about her appearance. Before Gu's suicide, in June, she complained on Instagram about her mental health problems and depression. She stated, "Is there no one out there with a beautiful mind, who can embrace people who suffer? Public entertainers like myself don't have it easy. We have our private lives, more scrutinized than anyone else, and we suffer the kind of pain we cannot even discuss with our family and friends. Can you please ask yourself what kind of person you are before you post a vicious comment online?" K-pop idols are one of the hardest working people in the world, and despite facing low wages, poor living conditions and constant backlash, they keep producing content. K-pop idols are not in it for the money, they do it because they are passionate about what they do. To show your support, make sure you stream their videos and buy their albums. And most importantly, advocate for them. The louder we speak up against the issues that K-pop idols face, the more likely that change within the industry will happen.